24th, 2016. And we just had very big economic news in this past 24 hours where we did have the Brexit, where the Great Britain did decide to leave the European Union. So we seen drastic volatility in the market. So I'm going to be going over how technical analysis, still kind of played out, even though we did have big fundamental news and, some pairs dropped over 1,000 pips in less than a few hours. What you see right now, you are looking at the euro to US dollar chart. It says the daily chart. And as y'all can see, this last big red bearish candle all happened within the last 24 hours. And I'm going to show y'all how technicals kind of played out with this. First off, we're going to take our Fibonacci tool. We're going to draw it from swing high this wick back down to the swing low. And as you can see, price terminated right here at our 61.8% Fibonacci level. That's why this purple box is right here, dating back from all the way over here. Price have not, price struggled around this area quite frequently. Price came up, dropped, hit the trend line. It came all the way back up to where it was yesterday. And then we had this gigantic drop of a trend line. And then I'm going to show y'all how we could have projected where price would have went with our Fibonacci extension. You take it from point A. And we're going to take it right back up. You see, price did this wick, made it all the way down to your 1272. And this black key level, which is one of my weekly key levels. You see the light blue key levels. Those are my monthly key levels. So it's right here alone, people say, you really can't predict fundamental movements. And, why that is true, you cannot predict the numbers. But price always obey technicals for the most part. I say about 90% of the time, price do obey technicals. Price could not get past this key zone of 61.8. And it really didn't even try to get through it with a big wick. Honestly, it kind of just gave up and just drastically dropped. So that's the outlook on EU. And if you go back and you look at my last 3 videos on EU, I think of in the first or the second one, I said the 1272 was the targets we was looking at to the downside. Let's go into the next part. Let's look at GBP USD. And we actually look at GBP USD. There is a bearish bet on her that I will be showing you guys today. It's GBP USD dropped like crazy. This is the lowest point GBP USD has been since like 1980, I believe. But as you can see, I'm gonna draw the Fibonacci tool for you guys again. We're going to take it from point A, from X to A. We got X, we got A. Price did come up, touch the 61.8. So this is not a bet. This would be a Gortley. We have C. It did not pass the A leg. And just looking at it, I can't tell this does hit at least a 38.2 of the A to B retracement. Now we got D. It's generally somewhere at the 78.6, but we're going to bring on our Fibonacci extension tool so we can just get the correct dynamics of that. Yep, right at our 1272 is where our D would have completed at. And as you can see, looking at GU, if you would have had pendings on this set just for this trade, I'm going to show you what your position would have kind of looked like. Let's come right here. Let's get a short position. We would have looked to short at D, of course. You would have had your stops above X. Your first targets for this trade from A to D. First targets would have been at the 38.2. Second targets could have been at the 61.8. delete that. And as you can see, your targets would have been an easy carefree trade. Let's go look at a few other pairs. Before the news hit, AU was making bullish momentum. I think if you look at my last video, before AU broke this weekly key line, actually I thought AU was gonna make it up a little bit to this purple key level, but the news shot it all the way back down. But look where price came, you guys. You know, I didn't just draw this trend line or nothing. You know, this price came all the way back down to give a third hit to this trend line. Let me show you guys kind of, you know, what that looks like. Of course, we had our first hit here. We had a second hit. And price came all the way back down and respected this trend line to give us a third hit. You know, and price is already back on its way rise with AU. Let's look at dollar CAD. We actually got a deep Gartley, you know, that is still valid on dollar CAD. Let me draw it out for you guys again. We got our Fibonacci from swing low to swing high. We're going to take our X. We got an A. We got a B. It at least touch our 61.8, but it do not touch 78.6. So we do have a valid Gartley. B. We got a C leg. Now our C was right here. Down it's going to be right here. This wick came up a little bit past, and you see it came and it respected this dynamic trend line that we got right here that is coming down. But it does not pass our A leg, so it is still valid. And then we'll look for it in at the 78.6 by just looking at the tail. I can tell this is a deep Gartley setup, so we're going to get our Fibonacci extension tool. And we're going to have a completion of our D leg a little bit past our 88.6. Let me get this up here for you guys. So that's kind of what we're waiting to play out right now on UCAD. You know, I would expect UCAD to drop back down. It's respecting this trend line. We got a weekly key level right here that's respecting, and prices right now is hovering around. You know, it's purple key level that I do have, and we'll see how price kind of respects it. I'll look at NU. NU's not one of my favorite pairs, but you can see how you know, the big economic news did push price to come back down. And where did price come at? Price came and hit this trend line. But also, if you look to the left, what do you guys see? You know, structure. Some people could have drew a demand box right here. You know, some of you guys that trade, you know, strictly off supply demand. This would have been a demand box, or you would have been looking to back off price to the left. Here go dollar yen. As you can see, I still got the arrows kind of marked out on this. It says kind of how I anticipated dollar yen to play out. If you look at this, we actually got our Fibonacci drawn from its swing high up in here back down to this swing low, and price did go, you know, it terminated at our 61.8 before we got the drop. But you know, once we got this drop in and price was hovering around this light blue zone, which is my monthly key level, I expected price to rise back into structure and then drop. You know, of course, I didn't expect to get a big drop like this, but you know, let's look at this. Let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can kind of see how it played out. You know, price was once hovering around the monthly key level. We got a great rise in the structure, and then this would have been a great trend continuation trade to get back short in on this. And look where price dropped at. You know, first targets would have been hit off our 1272 if that's what we was targeting when we would have got in this trade at the 618. And then targets even hit our 1618. But look how accurate technicals is, guys. It's black line right here. As you see on many of my charts, It is one of my weekly key levels. And man, you know, it came in and hit this right on the money and rose back up. Let's look at a few other pairs. Euro JPY was another one. You know, price terminated right at our 61.8. We have our Fibonacci drew from its high back down to this low. And look where price came at, guys. You know, price came right to the 61.8. You know, price came exactly to the 61.8, you know, before it terminated, eventually hit targets of the 1272 and even down to the 1618. Price came to the weekly key level. Now it is retreating back up. I would expect price to probably finish up here, you know, get some type of rise back into structure. We'll have to see. As we look at Euro Aussie, you know, it was definitely affected, but it wasn't like, you know, GBP or EU or something. But this is a trade that you go back and look at the last two videos. I believe I showed EA in my last two videos. I was actually you know, after we got this shooting star past this key level, past my purple key level, this is when I was looking to get short. And as you can see, we are on our way to our first targets. You know, playing out perfectly. We got this trend line here where price is very well respecting it. We did just pass our monthly key level. So I definitely would, you know, once our target is reached, to come back down into our weekly key level. USD shelf, another one that was affected big because of this decision. Price right here, it was consolidating for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days, almost 2 weeks. I had this blue box drawn out where price was consolidating in this area, and I was going to play the breakout. I was going to, you know, play the breakout of this trade. I was going to take it either way, whether it broke to the downside or broke to the upside. As you can see, we did just have this big breakout, this big candle that did just break out to the upside. So I'm gonna kind of wait to the aftermath to see kind of how this played out. You know, then we look at EG. You know, EG was another one, European dollar to the Great Britain pound. It was affected greatly because of this. This was a gigantic candle. Price went all the way from monthly key level to monthly key level. You know, so it's about 1,000 pips. You can see price did hit this dynamic trend line. Price did not pass it, however, and price came back down on the downside and hit this trend line right here, and it couldn't pass it. So that just shows you how powerful technicals are. Let me show you guys something. I want to show you guys a cipher, you know, that would have played out definitely on both sides of this. Let me grab the Fibonacci tool. We'll take this from X to A. X, A, we got a B. You know, I just looking at a test, did hit our 1272 extension, and then we would have had a 78.6 completion right here. Let me take the Fibonacci and drag it back down for you guys. We would have got into this cipher right here at this red candle, and we could have rolled it all the way back down to completion right before we did get this big bullish outbreak of this. And let's delete this. On to our next pair. We can look at US dollar to the Mexican peso. We can see how this played out again. You know, another one, expected trend line bounces up. So we'll look at a few more pairs before we do leave. Look at GJ. You know, I know a lot of people trade GJ. Kind of see how, you know, just technicals, man. We got our initial starting point here. We got our initial structure low, outside return, new structure low. Price never could pass our initial outside return. We then did get another new structure low right here. Price came back up, rose in the structure. Just looking at this, it looked like it probably came to about the 61.8. We're going to take our Fibonacci from my latest swing low, swing high, and look, what do you know, you guys, price came right to the 61.8 before it did drop. And just looking at it, it looked like price did hit targets of the 1618, at least the 1272. As you can see, price came and hit this 1618 perfect. And you just look, you see how the dollar index was greatly affected. The Nikkei was greatly affected from this big news. And you can kind of relate all of these back to the Forex pairs and kind of how you want to, you know, trade it. I think that's about all for the charts that I do have marked up. This is the Aussie Canada trade that I did get into earlier yesterday. I was playing the outbreak of this channel. I got in right here, rolled it up a little bit, but as you can see, the big news did push price to come all the way down. But you know, that's all for today, you guys. I just want to give you guys a breakdown of how technical still kind of played out with the big fundamental news that did just come out the Brexit. I'll be uploading more videos to my channel quite frequently. If anybody do want to contact me, follow me on Instagram __ Jordan Johnson. Add me on Facebook. I put a lot of educational posts on Facebook. Just Jordan Johnson again. Follow me on Snapchat, Jordan _ be great. You know, get in contact with me if you definitely want a more hands-on approach to how to analyze these charts technically, whether it be harmonics, advanced Fibonacci, you know, other market geometry, and things of that nature. I hope everybody have a great day. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe to my channel, and let me know how you guys like this video. Everybody have a great day.